played in an AA center all the way up, like I said, till I got to minor bantam. I made the jump at minor bantam, and even at minor bantam, we had some great teams, and I had a lot of success. When I look back on it, I could always shoot the puck. That was something I was always comfortable doing, but that was something I worked on day and night. I shot 500 pucks a day growing up as a kid. That's from the time I was playing minor peewee to the time I finished junior hockey. I would literally shoot 500 pucks a day. One thing that I kind of overlooked at the time was my skating, because we didn't have any ice in the summertime, so we didn't have any programs like you guys run now, and like we didn't have the access to a lot of these programs that the kids have now. There was no ice. You grew up in Sudbury, there was no ice in the summer. You just did something else, right? So skating was probably one of the, one of the skills that I just not overlooked. I could get by, and I got by okay, but I didn't realize until I got to the OHL that, hey, my skating is nowhere near where it should be, especially being a smaller player. And back then, when I came through, that was the Lindros era where everyone was massive. You had a lot of big guys. There wasn't a lot of small guys. Being from Windsor, a guy that I loved watching and playing against and had the privilege to play against was Billy Bowler. I thought he was an unbelievable talent for a smaller player, and he was one of the guys that dominated that league. But there wasn't too many of those guys, undersized guys that could dominate like Billy did. But the skating, I was told by my coach, I'm still in touch with him these days. I'm still a good friend of his, was Glenn Murkowski, and he told me my first year, and when I left that training camp, he said, if you're going to play in this league, or you want to further your career as a hockey player at the professional level, he said, you're going to have to become a better skater. So when I went back to Sudbury in October that year, he said, listen, I'm going to help you. If you want the help, I'm willing to help you. Let's work on this in practice. So he taught me a few little things like lengthening my stride, and over time, it didn't take that long. It took me, I'd say within a year and a half, I nailed it down. And by the end of my career, I'd consider myself probably an above average skater. I thought I had improved that much. And so going back to if you can identify your weaknesses, I think you're going to be a lot better for it, for sure. And you're willing to work on those weaknesses.
100%. So that's what I do in business, right? It's funny how people take information in. So what Sean just said there is so important, and it's so critical, because your strengths are your strengths, and they're probably going to always be your strengths. And shooting pucks, we all love to shoot pucks. Who doesn't, right? It's a lot of the times to be a really good player, you have to spend, not a lot of times, you have to spend time on your weaknesses. You got to get them up, because it's just like a team. Your weakest link is going to drag a team down. You're only strong as your weakest link, and it's the same as a player. So if you have something that you're struggling with, or you need help, it's you got to get on it. You got to get on it to make yourself better, because the leagues are just so good.